Okay, so today's question is, have you forgiven yourself? It's a known fact that all of us suffer from some kind of trauma. If you think that you may be one of those people who do not, I beg you, think again. But this time, try to be honest with yourself. Many people could say, my parents were drug addicts, they beat me when I was a child. But there are a lot of things that bring trauma that we do not consider, like being raised by a nanny, not spending a lot of time with our parents because they were always working, not being included in activities amongst friends and family. Some people don't even realize that trauma starts in the womb. So we may have been born with some kind of trauma and not even realized it. Many of us are carrying this burden around every day. And for those of us who refuse to acknowledge it or do not acknowledge it, we are casting our trauma and our burdens on other people every day. It may be seen or understood as something different. Oh, he's just an asshole, or he's a jerk, or he's a bad person, or she's a bad person. But a lot of the times it comes from their trauma, which has developed some form of belief system, which is how they decided to live their life. We all go into some kind of survival mode. And for many of us, that's what this is. The way we deal is a way of survival. We are all, in one way or the other, recreating the life that was put on us, that brought us and caused us our trauma. We are now recreating it in several different areas of our life. Not just one, but in several different areas. Do you find it hard to have relationships? Do you find it hard to have friendships? Do you find it hard to talk to some of your family members? Is it hard to find a job? Is it hard to keep a job? The list can go on. The reason I bring these things up is because we tend to do some of the things that were done to us to other people. But sometimes the effect that it has on people is worse than the effect that it had on us. So we may damage somebody. We may create trauma in somebody else's life. Acknowledging that you did something wrong is the first step. An apology may be in order, but even more so, thinking about what was the root of this behavior or this action in which you've taken. By doing this, we can realize that, well, maybe it really isn't our fault. You are human. You will make mistakes, but you are not your mistake. Acknowledge them, deal with them, get to the bottom of them, change them if you can, and once you do, you'll be able to catch yourself in the act of acting out before you lose very important people in your life, very important things in your life, or you lose your life. Forgive yourself. You were given some very toxic or maybe bad habits that happened to you before you were consciously aware that those things were not beneficial to your health, to your life, and to your happiness. So with that being said, remember, you are not your mistake. We all make them. And it's okay to make mistakes. It's actually even okay to admit that you're wrong and that you made a mistake. So I hope we've covered a few topics today that will get your mind rolling in the right direction. Give it some thought, take some time, turn off social media, turn off the television, get away from the computer, sit in nature, sit in peace, sit in silence, and deal with some of those issues that are burdening you every day of your life. I can assure you, getting down to the root of those things will bring you happiness at the end of the day. Thank you so much. Pablo Malco, My Life Unedited, with another little daily reminder.